So you have $1,000 and you want to be a millionaire, but you don't have wealthy parents. One person tells you to buy crypto, another says put it all into stocks, and someone else says buy real estate. But can any of those actually make you rich? In this video, I asked 4 self-made millionaires those very questions and how we can do the same. If someone asked you that, just on the street, walked up to you and like, hey, you're Rob Bilt, where should I put $1,000? What would you tell them?
You know, I'll be very honest. I don't think that $1,000 is really gonna get you rich. Not really with any traditional investment, because I don't think it's gonna happen with $1,000 unless you go and you have a crazy night in Vegas, then you just keep doubling up, or if you happen to find a really great cryptocurrency that blows up overnight. But short of those things, I think the only thing you can really do is invest in your intelligence.
So what I'm hearing is go to Vegas and gamble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gamble it all.
Yeah. So $1,000, I would assume that that person does not want to go to zero. So I would want to look for something that would be asymmetric, but also one that's not just gambling, thrown on the roulette table. So personally, like, this probably pretty cliche, but I would choose probably Bitcoin or Ethereum, because I think that those are the best risk-adjusted return out there right now. I mean, an altcoin could, be like a leveraged play on Bitcoin or Ethereum, but I think those two, even right now, with the situation that geopolitics are in and the Fed is in, with just these cycles of QE and QT, I think it's a high bet that Bitcoin lives on and grows many times over. So I think it would be a pretty safe asymmetric bet to be able to put down $1,000 and have $10,000 in 5 to 8 years from now. And then with that money, I would then take some of those smaller pieces and put them into maybe some of the growing altcoins, because I believe that the ecosystem, it will continue to mature and grow, but I do think it's still quite young.
Yeah, it's a very funny world to live in, where we say things like safer investments like Bitcoin, because once upon a time, still in the traditional world, it's still viewed as this highly speculative gambling asset, but I truly believe it to be a very safe place for your money that still has that asymmetric upside, given all things that are going on in the economy.
Yeah, risk adjusted, I think it is one of the best returns out there.
So the first thing I would ask would be, what's your debt situation? What I would not want to see is somebody with a lot of high interest debt investing $1,000 a month. Obviously, huge kudos to anyone who wants to invest $1,000 a month, that they have that cash flow and that they are able to invest it. Awesome. But I would make sure that all high interest debt is paid off first, that there's an emergency fund of at least 3 months of expenses, right? Assuming all of that, I hate to add so many caveats right up front here, but I would put it in the stock market. I know I just spent a few minutes here telling you about how I have real estate, and obviously real estate is cash flowing my life and allowing me to take a month off. But $1,000, even if you were to buy a very inexpensive place, for example, or if you were to do maybe Airbnb rental arbitrage, that's not quite enough for that. So what I would do is I would put that in a brokerage account, an after-tax brokerage account, so that I could access it easily later. And I would invest it in index funds. And index funds basically are this very low expense way to invest in a bunch of stocks at the same time. So I would start there, get that automatic investing going. And then I would be able to, once that money built up enough, I would probably take it out and use it to buy real estate.
Love it. Yeah, VTI is my go-to on the index fund front. But VO also solid. I mean, you can't, like you just said, you can't go wrong with something that is total market or S&P 500. It's proven, there's the track record, there's the history. Wow, that's some really good advice. You know what else is really good advice? Smashing that like button. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button if you're enjoying this video. If you've already clicked the subscribe button, hit that little bell icon and YouTube will hand deliver these videos of mine to you. So what would you tell somebody who says, okay, I've got $1,000, I want to invest or do something with it that's meaningful. What should I do with that money?
I am not an individual stock trader. I am very, very heavily based in index funds. So I would probably, if it were me, I'd probably put it in like a Vanguard total market index, like VTI, for example. Just keep it simple. I don't like dealing with money, to be quite frank, and index funds just make everything so much easier. And index fund investors tend to make more money than day traders. That has been proven time and time and time again.
And I think the statistic last time I looked at it is like 80% of all day traders lose money. They never actually make any money.
Yeah, I read just the other day, I think it was 70%, but like 70% of day traders lose money every quarter, period. 70%, 7 out of 10 people lose money every quarter, where the alternative is index funds and go off and do something fun. That's it. That's literally it. It is so unbelievably easy as long as you have a long-term time horizon, which you always should have when you're investing. Boy, it's so much easier.
Oh yeah, short-term thinking versus long-term thinking. If you can think long-term, you can win. But people who do that, few and far between.
And whether it's investing in the stock market or investing in real estate or investing in crypto, it really doesn't matter. The strategy, the concept here is exactly the same. And that's what's so cool about investing. You can invest in all of these different things, whether it could be precious metals like gold or silver or platinum or whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a long-term time horizon, you stand a really good chance of building some serious wealth. So don't feel like you have to be sitting there in front of the computer with your mouse hovered over the buy and sell buttons. That's not how real wealth is made, and that's certainly not how we made our wealth. So yeah, investing in a targeted retirement fund or just a total market index fund, that's how I would personally do it.
For me personally, if I was telling someone what I would do with $1,000, I would invest that $1,000 to make you a smarter, wiser, more intelligent investor. Sign up for a mastermind, sign up for a conference, sign up for a program or a course that's gonna teach you how to make $1 million. Learn a skill that's gonna make you more money. You can learn a lot of things like data analytics, coding, design, editing. There's so many little trades and crafts that you can learn that you can go and start a side hustle that will hopefully eventually become a front hustle that funds your next side hustle. Millionaires make all of their money from several side hustles that come into fruition one day into like all these different income streams. So if you think you're gonna just completely crush it in one thing, you might, a lot of people do, but you should just learn as many skills as you can, develop as many streams of income as you can. Really the only way you're gonna do that is by learning. And honestly, with 50 to 100 bucks, not a lot of avenues out there other than things like Skillshare or Udemy or kind of any of those platforms online.
I mean, anything can be learned. So I think with enough curiosity and time investment, you can learn crypto inside and out. You can learn to be a trader, and you can learn real estate. I mean, really, it's just all about failing. I only knew about crypto coming into 2020 because I had a lot of failures in 2017, 18, things I would have done differently. So I'm still a proponent that building the base allows for like the snowball effect.
I love buying books. You could also do things like pay for guides and books on Gumroad that people have created or courses and things like that. That's a great way to put it. And I love, Andy, that you're like, hey, investing doesn't have to mean put your money somewhere that in an obvious investment. It can be investing in yourself.
So think about, I would really encourage you to think about how you could spend that money on yourself to improve your life, to improve your skills, to improve your knowledge and experience, because that can compound exponentially, perhaps even more than just investing it in the market.
If you enjoyed the lessons that they had to share, well then you're gonna love this video, and you should definitely check it out if you want to learn more about investing your money. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.